Norma Ashby called in from Great Falls. Norma Ashby Smith these days, but you know her from her TV days as Norma Ashby. And she says, Aaron, you have got to talk to my friend. She is just such a remarkable woman. And, you know, we joked about praying without ceasing. I think Norma would say that Doris Ehli is somebody who prays without ceasing. Doris Ehli, 90 years young, joining us from Shelby, Montana. Doris, thanks so much for calling in. It's good to talk to you.
It's good to talk to you, too.
How are you holding up there?
Oh, I'm holding up great.
So I saw Phil Drake with the Great Falls Tribune did a great piece, and that's what our friend Norma Ashby was telling us about. So you've been living at the Marias Heritage Center for about 3 years now in Shelby. Is that right?
Correct. Right.
And I guess
yes, and go ahead.
So what? So I guess talk about what the last few weeks have been like for you, because you know everybody across the state's certainly been thinking about and praying for all of our friends there in Shelby.
Well, you know, they think that because we're in our rooms and we aren't allowed out of them at the time, that time just drags on. But it might for some of them, but it sure doesn't for me. Every day goes faster. I mean, you make each day what you want it to be. You can either be happy or choose to be happy in it, or you can choose not to. Me, I'm always excited about what God's going to do for the day. I always look and anticipate what he's going to do. And knowing Norma Ashby, you know he's going to do something.
So you live at the Marias Heritage Center, which is a 40-unit retirement and assisted living facility in Shelby. You've been there
Correct.
for 3 years. You actually tested positive for the coronavirus and for COVID-19, and you've also lost friends who have died, because we know that really Toole County has been the hardest hit by the coronavirus.
Right, that's true. But fortunately, I'm still here. Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm still here. The Lord, I told the Lord, you know, whatever you choose to do, you will either heal me and leave me here, or you'll take me home with you, and either way, I'm a winner.
You've probably heard from some folks outside of Shelby over the phone, or maybe you've seen or heard some of the news reports, but you know, some folks are kind of complaining because they can't go here or they can't go there, but they are still able to get outside and go for a walk. They're still able to see some family members. They're still able to do a lot of things that we forget about. What would your message be to them?
Well, my message is I just enjoy each day. I'm so thrilled I can see out of my apartment's got a lot of windows. I get a lot of light, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to see if there is traffic going by, which there isn't much, not these days, and people moving around. But you know, I talk to my grandkids from California on the phone and stood at my window, and they had driven up from Great Falls, and we could see each other. And there's just a lot of things you can do like that make a difference, too, in your life. You just have to, just like I said, they phoned and said, Grandma, we're coming up, and we'll be right down below your window, and that's what we did.
So
we talked on the phone, and
just being able to see them is key.
Right, and they were able to see me. But, you know, I'm always encouraged because I'm always trying to encourage people to be happy and enjoy life. That's my mission. I mean, find the good. Don't be looking at the bad, and if you got problems, take them to the Lord. He's the burden bearer. We're not to carry him. He does.
Montana is talking here. This is Montana Talks with Aaron Flint.
So Phil Drake had a great piece in the Great Falls Tribune a few days ago. Here's the headline: Weathering the Storm. Shelby woman clings to faith in Heritage Center to survive COVID-19. And Phil notes that back on March 27th, which is over a month ago now, that's when Marias Medical Center officials said that the Tooele County Health Department had notified them and the county-owned Marias Heritage Center that positive cases of the respiratory illness had been identified and included Heritage Center employees. And so Doris Ehli and many of her friends there at the Heritage Center have basically been locked down for days and weeks here. And yet that's why it's just so incredible to hear just the remarkably positive attitude and how she's been thankful throughout these tough times, even after losing some good friends from the coronavirus and from COVID-19. Doris, it sounds like there were some incredible stories. There's a National Guardsman who's been a particular bright spot in your days there.
Yes, he was definitely a bright spot. We've been fortunate to have the National Guard. Some of our nurses were National Guard that came, and the others came and helped, and we still have a few. They will be done this weekend in here, but we'll probably still have some over at the railroad station and, those places. But anyway, they and the ones that could entertained, and they also did deep cleaning and washed down apartments and cleaned up, after came in and sanitized in our apartments and took care of us, played cards with us, whatever. If you needed to talk, they would spend time talking with you. And it was just, they've just been real lovable, very lovable.
Well, that's great. Well, if you got a good card game going, what else do you need? You got a good game of whist. That's all you really need anyway, right? And this National Guard, I guess one would play the ukulele and sang some hymns.
He had a beautiful voice, and he sang "How Great Thou Art," and he sang another song, and I enjoyed it immensely, and then the nurses that came in were the ones, like I said, that played cards and stuff. And even our own caregivers, people don't realize, I don't think, they take it for granted what they do for us. But we have been so spoiled. I mean, they deliver our mail. They deliver our meals. They do our laundry. Things that ordinarily we'd be going down to the dining room and deciding on our meals. But they bring a paper around with our meals on it, and then we get to mark what we want. They bring the menu. And that's extra work, and they take it back to the kitchen. And, I'm so thankful that there's a place like this here, because they always ordinarily have things going on. And now there are only 2 of us. They tested this morning, and we're waiting for the results. And if they come back negative, then there's not one case, nobody positive, not even any of the employees. They're all cleared here in this facility.
Well, that's great news, and we're so glad that you're being so well taken care of there. And Doris, we thank you so much for taking the time out. It's been an honor to talk to you this morning. Thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thank you.